What is up, YouTube? So a little while ago, a pretty huge update for Faceplant came out. And if you already thought Faceplant was an incredibly versatile plugin, then some of these new features are going to be pretty mind-blowing as they, push the capabilities of this already pretty crazy plugin beyond what most plugins are capable of. And the biggest introduction is that they've added the ability to load their multiband effects processor multipass within the plugin as its own effect, as well as Snap Heap, which is their not multiband effects host kind of thing. But yeah, alongside a bunch of new introductions that just make the plugin so much better, as if it wasn't awesome already. So yeah, let's dive in and have a look. So some of the biggest new features alongside the ability to load their effects processors within the plugin as their own effects is they've redesigned a lot of the parts of the interface which were a little bit clunky or hard to navigate. So the plugin in general is just so much more intuitive, especially for those who might be jumping into it for the first time. One example is their kind of new global content browser. So they've kind of redesigned the way that their browsers work for wavetables, samplers, for actual presets themselves. It's kind of a lot more user-friendly in terms of creating your own like banks of sounds and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, a lot more easier to navigate. They've added a favorites system, the ability to search for your presets and stuff like that. And they've also added a cycling function to be able to cycle through the wavetables, which is something that a lot of us have actually been waiting for quite a while now. It just makes the whole browsing process a little bit more fluid. So another massive introduction in the update that a lot of us have been waiting for is the ability to change the curve on their filters. So as you can see here, you've got a curve control of ×1 to ×6. So that's obviously represented by the amount of poles and alongside your Q. So you've got really, really clinical control over the filter. I mean, I discussed in a previous video where you can kind of stack the filters up, but this just kind of makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to do that. You can just load up one filter, change the slope, and you're good to go. It just makes the whole sound design process a little bit more fluid, like I was saying. A lot of these features are kind of aimed at, obviously apart from the massive ones like Snap Heap and Multipass, a lot of them are aimed at a more intuitive experience all around. So as well as the effects filter getting the slopes, the actual generator filters have slope control as well over here. And that leads me to the next point where they've kind of redesigned the interface of the filter generators. So you've got the kind of resulting waveform as well as a image of what the actual filter looks like. And they've done the same with the distortion module as well. So you can see what the curve of the distortion looks like alongside the actual resulting waveform. Again, which just make things a little bit easier. If you're more familiar with a certain filter slope being represented this way rather than the resulting waveform like it previously was, it just makes things a little bit easier. Okay, it goes a bit crazy in the low frequency, so we can actually put a filter after this high pass filter like this. So let's have a look at some of these new effects capabilities that they've added. So I've done a whole video on Multipass, which is their multiband effects processor, like I explained. So essentially, for those who don't know what multiband processing is, it's splitting your frequencies into several channels and processing each of those individually. So as you can see at the top here, you've got a kind of readout of your frequency spectrum. And you'll see band 2, 3, and 4. You can actually choose how many bands you want. But I'm not going to get too extreme with this one. We can just go ahead and apply different effects to each of these bands. And this is particularly cool with something like, using a bandpass filter on a random, which kind of jumps to those different frequencies, as it'll kind of jump and change effects as it kind of changes those frequencies. So for those who are not following, just have a look at what I'm about to do here. So I'm putting this is the reverse. I want to put a reverb onto the top end over here. And you'll see there's no frequencies going to that. So you can actually set the frequency which it kind of cuts off at. So you can have a look at what your sound looks like and choose the frequency specific to that. And let's put a delay as well. Good old ping pong. We can maybe put a delay on this top one as well, like a different speed. Like not a ping pong, like 2/16. So I want to put a filter at the beginning here to cut out some of those low frequencies that are coming in. And let's put a comb filter and modulate it with this LFO over here. So the coolest thing about this is it kind of allows you to nest groups of effects within a single block. So here, for example, we can route just a single one of these generator groups to one multipass, and then have another one routed to a different multipass with a different set of multiband effects and stuff like that. It's really pretty crazy when you start to break it down how advanced you can get with your sound design. So for example, I actually want to change this to a something like that, so we can hold the note, so we can actually create like a group of synth sounds here by just holding a single note. So I just want to draw this in. let us create a analog over here. Sorry, a new group. And then we can pop an analog in here and an out over here. So what I actually want to do is let's set this to send to the master, and we can actually do all of them to lane 3. Lane 3, lane 3, and then to the master from here. And then this one we can set to lane 2. So we're creating like a multiband patch, which we're going to process with different multiband effects. Okay, so just so I can hear what's going on, I'm going to solo this second lane. So here what might be cool is to actually, create more bands and then, have like completely different set of effects on each one. So as usual with Faceplants, it's like really, really simple building blocks that you can just like, you know, I love the way it's kind of like an empty palette, and there's just so many different kind of modules that you can take it to the point where, you know, you weren't really expecting what the outcome would be. So, you know, with these types of projects, which I open it and there's kind of no synths in it, I've just got kick and bass, and I kind of want to create something and I'm not sure where I want to go with it. And Faceplant is often the one that I go to for these types of things. And just the fact that they've added this, you know, multi-pass just kind of takes the inspiration so much further, you know, especially being able to kind of split these bands as you want, you know, with these kind of like band pass leads, and you get those kind of like different delay timings. It's, yeah, very, very cool. A big thanks to IDM Mag, proud supporters of the dance music scene and my channel. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys already own Faceplant, are you guys excited about these new feature introductions, or have you already been using them? I know I'm a little bit late to the party. So yeah, and also as usual, I'm going to be posting this preset to my Patreon for all my $5 supporters. So if you want to know what that's all about, check out the link that's going to be in the description somewhere at the bottom there. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.